Now, before I begin, I just like to say that I'm aware that this is a sensitive topic for a lot of people. What I'm talking about in this video is taboo for some, and I know many of us keep our beliefs very close to our heart because our beliefs help us understand and navigate this complicated world that we live in. And when someone challenges a belief one holds, especially a belief that you hold very strongly, it can feel like a personal attack, or someone is trying to influence a reality of confusion, trying to confuse you in some way and put you into a state of chaos where evil forces can easily take advantage of that. You can go down a dangerous rabbit hole. That's what it often feels like. But I'm not here to convert anybody. I'm not trying to change anybody's beliefs. I'm simply speaking from my experience and hopefully make people who are similar to me to not feel alone out there, and maybe provide perspective for someone who may be religious. It's good to be challenged. It can help you ask deeper questions and even strengthen your understanding of your own religious practice and bring you closer to it and deepen your practice within it. If you are fanatic in your religious beliefs, this video may not be for you because you may not be willing to digest what I'm saying, and you may selectively listen to what I'm saying and jump to conclusions, probably even demonize me and jump to conclusions and send a long-ass paragraph message about how I need to be saved and reading out Bible verses. But with the topic of religion, I should just expect it, I should just accept the inevitable, that it's going to happen despite me saying all of this. You cannot fill a cup that is already full. And if you'd like to taste my tea, I need you to temporarily empty your cup, just for this moment. Now, I'm not against religion. I think religion is a great thing. I think Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, and all these religions are good things in our world because they guide people towards the light. Religious institutions are one of the few communities where you learn to cultivate deeper meaning and guide you and helps you navigate the everyday silent battles of our lives. They guide us to have healthier relationships and often more fulfilling relationships and a fulfilling life. And they remind us and humble us of a much more powerful divine presence in our existence. Most call it God, others call it Brahman, the Tao, etc., etc. I believe religions are good. They provide direction morally. A society without a religion can often be degenerate. Religion in our world is good, but I believe they are incomplete. They are not the end of the dialogue of the nature of life, the nature of existence, our place in existence, the nature of God, and spiritual truth. I believe they are a part of the discussion, a part of the dialogue, but not the end of it, which is something that often frustrates me with, deeply religious people. They often believe their religion is the right one, the right path to take, the only way, the only truth, the only light. Whereas, through my exploration outside of religion, I've discovered that there's more than one way towards the light. There's more than one way to find the divine or God and to live in harmony with the world, with good morals. It's just that religious institutions provide structure, routine, and a lifestyle to practice and to have consistency in one's spiritual development, because it can be very easy to lose sight of things when there is no practice. And I think that's fundamentally what I think is good about religion, is the practice, the consistency. But I believe the perspective of my religion, my God, my spiritual practice is the right one, and yours is the wrong spiritual practice. There is no other God besides mine. I think that whole approach and perspective misses the point of spirituality. A true believer is one who has entertained the idea that what they believe could be false. And it's through that exploration that you find truth for yourself. Wisdom cannot be granted. It must be earned. And many times at a cost few are willing to take. It's easier to talk, but walking the walk often requires a lot of sacrifice. And you gain a lot of wisdom because you learn there's a lot of nuance. A true truth seeker is one who is able to read in between the lines of scriptures and understand the nuance of the message. A fake truth seeker is one who takes what is written as pure truth and takes it too literally and corrupts it with human bias. There are a lot of good people out there who do a lot of bad things for the right reasons. Of kindly let me help you before you drown, said the monkey, putting the fish safely up a tree. I hope you understood that metaphor. The path to hell is paved with good intentions. I left religion because of that very fact. Human beings, we are very biased creatures, and few are truth seekers. Most people go to church, only participate in tradition, because it's all they know. It's the number one reference that they have. It's what they were told to do. It's what they were taught and raised to think. Sometimes the very culture of the world that they live in just inevitably makes them drawn to certain ideas because it's the only reference that they have. It's the only options in the world that they live in. Most people don't choose their religion. They're drawn to it. There's a difference. Choice means that you have options, and you've compared the difference between A, B, and C. And you've chosen C because of XYZ reasons, by contrasting with the other options. See? People are often drawn to their religion because it's the most popular spiritual path that's visible to them and often raised into. People are groomed into their religion and therefore adopt a way of thinking. It's often not really about choice. It's just about, that's all you know. You don't understand the basic assumptions of your own culture if your own culture is the only culture you know. Everybody operates on certain basic assumptions, but very few people know what they are. The idea that my God, my religion, is the right one. And even some of these scriptures go as far as to say, you will go to hell if you listen or if you worship a different God. Or when the Bible says things like, God is a jealous God. That's when you know the Bible has a lot of human influence. Because what divine force in the universe has the capacity to feel and indulge in primitive human emotions and fixate themselves in worldly human drama? Because what about all these uncontacted tribes around the globe that have never ever seen human civilization or even heard of the name Jesus and don't even know what a Bible even is or what religion is, are they going to go to hell? Are they going to be punished? And let's go even further than that. What about other life forms beyond the stars? Are they going to go to hell as well? Do they worship Jesus? Do they know who Jesus is? Because the universe is too big for us to be the only form of intelligence out there. You cannot have an intelligent creature like a human being in an unintelligent universe. It doesn't make sense. We are definitely not alone in this universe. It's ignorant to believe that we are. It's the exact same train of thought of those people who believe that we are the most advanced form of intelligence on Earth, which almost disrespects all the other forms of intelligence here that are more advanced than us in other ways, even more sophisticated ways than our own. God is not a religion. God is too divine to be crystallized in the format of a religion or to be an entity that is fixated by humans. They say we are created in God's image. I think it's the other way around. We create God in our image. I mean, when you observe all of these religions from all across the globe, all of these religions, all of their gods all look like them. You know, you've got the Asians, they've got Buddha. Buddha looks Asian, he looks like them. In India, they've got a god that looks like them. White people, they've got a god that looks like them. You know, Jesus with the blue eyes. Black people, well, they used to pray to their ancestors, and now in recent history, because of slavery and all this stuff, they were forced to read the Bible. And now they've integrated themselves as Christians. And it's a strange thing. It's almost as if black people worship a white god more than white people worship their own god. Black people have almost cultivated Christianity as their own. I mean, I see it here in South Africa. It's almost like black people speak more about Jesus than white people that are here. But that's just my experience. I'm not sure how it is everywhere else. There's this quote from Transformers: Age of Extinction, the movie, by Lockdown, which always sticks with me. The line in the movie goes like this: "Every galaxy I've traveled, all you species are the same.
You all think you're the center of the universe. You have no idea."
There are depths to this existence. The way I see religion is like a place of spiritual refuge for those who don't wish to explore or dive any deeper, because there's a lot of spiritual truth, wisdom, and existential understanding beyond the barriers of religion. Religion is like school. It's an institution where people go to educate themselves. But school is not education. School is a place of guidance, a place of discipline towards education, towards educating yourself. But there is much more to learn outside of the institution of school. But, of course, not everyone is academically inclined, just as not everyone is fascinated by deeper spiritual truth and understanding. Most are satisfied with what the institution has shown them. And that's okay. You know, I admit I'm a spiritual nerd. I am a wizard. You know, I am fascinated by concepts that most people just look over. I'm like a fish. I like to dive in deep where all the strange things are. And everybody else, they're like birds. I can occasionally swim up to the surface and hang out with the birds, but the birds can't swim down with me. The birds often like to fly off into the sunset. And any time that I ever tried to get these birds to swim in deep with me, it's like I'm drowning them. I'm overwhelming them with all this deepness, with all this depth, because they live in a different world. That's often how I feel, as someone who isn't religious but is deeply spiritual. I feel like an outsider who has explored different territory. And any time that I open my mouth and say, hey, there is something over here that could be of interest to you, it's almost like all the people who are still in that village, who've never explored out what's outside of that village, they almost demonize me. They're like, hey, the things that are outside of these gates are dangerous. Whatever you saw, don't go back to that thing because it's dangerous. And it's like, nah, it's not. See, I have it in my hand. Look, it's nice. And it's like, no, this is blasphemy. Blasphemy, I tell you. But if I'm not religious, then what am I? Honestly, I don't know. And I enjoy being in this formless state because I can adapt. I'm willing to learn and understand different perspectives. I feel it increases and strengthens my understanding and relationship with the divine. And it gives me more perspective, and I can adjust my lens and hear the divine's voice in whatever form is around me. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Do I believe in God? Yes, I do believe that there is a great divine presence in existence, but I don't have a name for it. Most people commonly call this presence God. But through my exploration, I prefer not to give it a name because I believe it's too divine, mysterious, and cannot be grasped by the human mind. And the word God, it's cute, it's adorable, compared to what this presence truly is. If you've truly witnessed it, it would leave you speechless. You would die by astonishment. You would cease to exist. Therefore, I personally prefer to call it the universe or the great divine, because to me the word God has so many funny associations attached to it that it makes me lose sight of the formless presence I am truly trying to connect with, When I think of the word God, I immediately think of some Santa Claus looking fella with like a beard and, he sits in the clouds and he's like sitting on his throne like, fee, fi, fo, fum, I banish thee from thy kingdom. Ah. For me, it's very distracting. I can't focus when I use the word God, especially when I'm praying, when I'm channeling, when I'm having a dialogue with the divine. It can be distracting. But that's just me personally. Socially, I entertain the word God. I don't want to explain a long ass story of like why I don't use the word God to every single person that I meet. So for social reasons, I just go with the flow and just say, yeah, God. Just for the sake of getting people to understand what I'm talking about. God, the universe, those are the two that I commonly use. But for those who know me very personally, I use the word divine, the great divine. Even when I happen to be at church, I entertain the religious narratives because my relationship with the divine is between me and the divine. My job is not to convert anyone. I'm able to have a sober discussion with a religious person and even agree. There's a lot that I agree about religion. There's a lot about the Bible that I believe is deeply valuable. There's a lot of powerful information in the Bible, and I encourage people to read it. But of course, with open eyes, and to not just listen and read it blindly. Because I also think that there's a lot within the Bible that is corrupted. There's a lot that was left out even within Jesus' teachings. But that's a topic for another day. So, with all that said, thank you for listening, and unto all are one.